Hello and welcome to another episode of Boxing TV. I'm your host and professional commentator, Dan Hewitt. I hope you're all fine. I hope you're doing well. I've just been having a conversation of how hot I am. I'm getting a bit fuming about that. It's too warm. Don't like it. I'm not made for this. I'm made for some snowy place, but I'm certainly not made for this. I've got three guests coming on today who are very different, all of them. All of them are very, very different. So I'm actually really intrigued as to... First of all, we're going to be speaking with Mickey Bushell, who is an MBE, Paralympic gold medalist. Probably one of the most inspirational men I've ever actually had the honor to even speak with. And it's going to blow my mind. I'm really looking forward to speaking with him. I'm then going to be speaking with Nyall Berry, who I didn't get a chance to speak with at the British Boxing Board of Control Awards the other day, but he won Prospect of the Year, which is a hell of achievement, 8-0 as a professional. And then fingers crossed, speaking to Jay McFarlane up in Scotland, popular heavyweight who's got his own podcasting series. Now, I always say, do me a massive favor, everybody watching, you're legends. Make sure you press like and make sure you share. And if you're over on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and just press the alarm bell thing and it'll let you know every time that we're live every single Sunday at 8:30. Going to the fans, keep your comments coming in. Everybody, I always like asking this: where you're from? Tell me where you're from. I love hearing from all weird and wonderful places around the world. Let me know where you're from, dudes. Starting with Lee Hurley. Evening, Dan. Lee, tune in every week, mate. Nice to see you, and thanks a lot for your comment. Much appreciated. Leslie Webb. Hi, Dan. Hope you're well, and thank you to your guests for no doubt another great show. I'm really well, mate. Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in every week. You are an absolute legend. Right, I'm going to introduce my first guest now, and this guy, this is going to blow your mind. Stay tuned for this because this guy has been honoured by having an MBE for his let's say, duty, his actions towards sport. He's Paralympic gold medalist. Now, this guy recently climbed a mountain on his hands. I'm not joking. I'm being serious. He climbed a mountain on his hands. Check this out because this is going to make your absolute week. It is wild.
Come on, mate. Go on, Mickey. Come on, Mickey. Come on, Mickey. Go on, Mickey. Yes, fella.
Mickey Bushell, MBE, welcome to Boxing TV. One of the most inspirational men that I've had the honor of speaking with, for sure. Now, I'm not a boxer.
Nope.
But now and again, what I do like doing is showing people what humans are really capable of doing. And you are, and I just want to start with bloody good on you, mate. Bloody good on you. I mean, how you could even make up climbing the Wrekin mountain on your hands is one of the most insane things I've ever seen. So congratulations. And you did that all for charity as well, which is absolutely unreal. So Mickey, welcome to the show. How are you getting on, mate? How are you feeling?
I'm great, thank you, mate. How are you?
I'm good. Bit warm, but I'm all right. I'm all right. Now, Mickey, you're a Paralympian gold medalist. And I want to talk about you in your early life. I want to talk about you, the reason where this mindset's come from. Where, because these mindsets, they're not given, they're made. And I want to find out what really is, what's giving you this strength of mind to climb a mountain on your bleeding hands, which is just insane. So we're starting then, like, kind of with your early life. So starting right from the very, very, very beginning, when your mum and dad, of course, would have found out that their baby, had a certain situation. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so when I was born, they were actually told that I would never walk, obviously, but never move around either, never sit up, never do anything really. I'd be basically a vegetable. And that was kind of that's what they said to 19-year-old and 20-year-old, my parents. So even from then, it was kind of a bleak outlook. But within, I think it was a year and a half, I was actually doing handstand walking around the house.
A handstand?
Yeah, yeah. So that was the time I was doing, sort of sitting up at 6 months, maybe, I think it was, maybe a little bit later. But then I was, yeah, walking around on my hands, doing handstands and showing the doctors they were actually wrong.
I suppose you didn't know any other way, did you?
No, that's
Realistically,
it.
that's
That
what
was
you
walking.
have to
That was
play the cards
that
you
was
dealt,
walking.
I suppose.
Yeah, yeah. Life is what you make it.
Mad. So you just walked around the house doing handstands, pretty much. Just
Doing
that's the way you got around.
handstands, getting into trouble, running under cupboards, tables because nobody could catch me. Uh, doing it on the hospital wards, getting myself into mischief. I remember when I was well, I don't remember it as well, but I've been told when I was in nursery, I went missing for 4 hours. And what happened was they called the police as well. And actually, I was in a cupboard and there was a stacked pile of papers next to it. And I was sitting there giggling because I was hidden for that longer time.
Hide and seek world champion as well, then.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So you, of course, were awarded an MBE, which is probably one of the most prestigious things to have from this country, which is something that will keep your name in the record books until the dawn of time, pretty much.
Yeah.
So you won, of course, well, the one you awarded an MBE. What did that mean to you?
It was a really special time, obviously, because for me, I was only doing it because I enjoyed the sport. I loved the sport. I loved going fast in a wheelchair, and that was it for me. I never expected to, get an MBA or any other accolades in that way. My sole goal was to win gold. That was it.
Win gold, madness. Right. I want to go to the fans because there's loads of people saying hiya. I see every single comment. I see every single share. I see every single like. You little legends. Really appreciate it. Make sure you do to support the stream. Here we go. Richard Vernon said, "Evening, Dan. Another great show watching from Shrewsbury. Not too far away from us, Mickey."
Very close.
Rick Stevenson. Yes, Dan, lad. That guy there. I swear to God, he's one of the nicest blokes I've ever met in my entire life. Dale Nielsen, all the way from Boston. Nice to see you, Dale. Leslie Webb says, shared, legend, much appreciated, mate. Lee McAllister come in with Let's Go Champs. Lee is one of the partners here at Boxing TV at Assassin Boxing Promotions and Management up in Aberdeen. Do a lot of work and commentary there. Looking forward to releasing some of the fights that I commentated on the other day. Dale Nielsen said, amazing grit. I mean, you don't climb a mountain on your hands without that, mate. Absolutely. Thanks for your comment. Richard Vernon, congratulations, Mickey MBE. You are an inspiration. Absolutely. And Leslie Webb again. Hi, Mickey. Wow, what a man. What an inspiration. Where does this inspiration come from? And are there any charities that are close to your heart? Truly amazing and all the very best to you. What charities are close to your heart, Mickey?
So the Academy really is my community-based thing at the moment. We're not registered as a charity just yet. We're in the process of moving forward to that. So we raised the money so we could get more projects going. Because I run 8-week projects for wheelchair users, and that's where we're diverting all our money. We're also expanding into other sports, and we're going to put money into those branches of sports as well to give more opportunities to wheelchair users. So that's kind of my passion at the moment. It's a real. I don't want wheelchair users to struggle to find something to do in sport, or not even sport, even just to get out of the house, just to have a bit of fun, meet some friends, that kind of thing.
I don't think I've ever asked anybody yet this question. How hard is it? How hard is it? Because I'm saying this from a place of love, and I'm saying it from a place where, I mean, me and you just spoke about myself a year ago, and me being nearly 34 stone, and I've lost nearly 14 stone. I feel like a completely different person. And it was hard, man. It was really hard. It was hard to get around. It was hard to do anything. And when I saw people walking down the street, don't get me wrong, I still did get about, but when you see people walking down the street and when you see people kind of doing normal day-to-day things, like now, I've got a 2-year-old and I'm so happy I lost all the weight because I'm running around playing horse. My 8-year-old and my 2-year-old are on my back playing horsey around the front room. I could have never done that, but I kind of see both sides. So how hard is it from your end, not to be able to do what most people would think would be just the norm?
Well, I can tell you a story actually of a guy. So we ran our first project last year in the February, and we only had 2 people. But we took this guy on. He's from Telford as well, and he came to me. He was 16.5 stone, wheelchair user, and his goal was to get out of the house more and be freer, to be able to use his wheelchair properly as well. Because it's one thing being in a wheelchair, but then it's another thing to know how to use it as well, properly and effectively. And that's basically what the academy is about. I teach people how to use wheelchairs properly and to get out and about. So he felt like a real burden on his family. He felt like a burden to his friends, his kids. So he never really left the house. He had a roller system, which is for wheelchairs, is like a self-powered treadmill,
Right.
or a turbo for a bike. It's probably a better description.
Okay.
And he would do 3 hours on it, and he wasn't losing weight. He was getting shoulder injuries. So he was in quite a dire kind of place, I guess, for him. Fast forward to now, he won his first 10K in a racing chair this year.
Wow.
Really? In 32 minutes as well, which is a phenomenal time. Especially when he's 44, and he was only in the racing chair for 4 months prior.
Wow.
He lost 5.5 stone. He couldn't lift his weight off the floor in a chin up. Now he's doing 8 chin ups in a row and banging the bar. So that change in him it's inspired me, watching that change and being a part of that with him. So from his perspective, I guess back then it was incredibly hard. Because I can't fully answer that question. That's why I tell that story, because for me, this is the norm for me. I've always been like this. So
you've never known anything different, have you? I suppose.
Exactly. So he had a car crash. So he lost something.
Right.
He lost his mobility. He lost his life in one regard. But now we found another one for him, another life.
Mickey, I've never asked this question to anybody in my entire life. Don't think it's ever really come up. But what's easier, having it all your life, and it's just the way it is, and something you've got to deal with, or someone who's had what they know and their will taken away? What would you say was easier?
I definitely think my position is easier than his. Definitely, because that it's even the mental strain of losing something. I know when I was I had sepsis in 2015. Nearly died with that. I was in hospital, in and out of hospital for 9 months with this thing. Obviously, I recovered from it, but at the time, I really lost everything. Where I couldn't train. I couldn't even lift myself up properly. I couldn't walk around on my hands properly. I didn't have the strength to. So feeling that mental loss was a crippling to me. So I think definitely if you lose something, I think that's definitely worse than actually just being born like me, in a sense. There's a lot of problems that I have, but there's also the fact that this is life and this is normal.
That's it. So you won Paralympic gold, which is incredible. You're a gold medalist. So for people who don't realize what it is, basically, and to explain it in probably the most layman's simple terms in the world, you're in a wheelchair, you're against everybody across the world, and you're doing pretty much the 100-meter sprint.
Yeah.
Yeah, wanting maybe for a better quote or better saying. Basically, that's what you're doing. Now, that I can't imagine how. I mean, question: how would you train for that? Because from a boxing perspective, and then Nyall, I know you're in the background. I can see you here, mate. So, in fact, I'm not going to bring you on. We'll talk about it in a minute. But Nyall, I can see you. When it comes to boxing, one of the most important things, and I think you'll agree, Nyall, is explosiveness. Now, if you're doing a 100-meter sprint and you've literally got you must be a beast, mate. Like how to be literally the best person on the planet as far as speed and power, because that's what it is, isn't it? And then 100-meter sprint in a wheelchair, speed and power, as using not even your bottom half of your legs, mate. You must be like Roy Jones Jr., bloody re-embodied. Like I said to you, I would not like to take a punch from you, mate. You must be so hard. It's unreal.
It's quite funny.
Are you
We
with me,
do.
Niall? You're with me, aren't you? I can see you. Yeah, he agrees. He agrees. That's correct. I mean, what kind of training do you do? I mean, because it's obviously all upper body, obviously, but it's like, what kind of training would you do to be that explosive? Because I can see some synergy there with boxing.
We do hills. We do uphill sprints. We do speed endurance, which is, I remember one of my sessions for 2012, actually. It was in the February, so it wasn't great weather either, but I was doing 400 meters on, 400 meters off, and I'd do about 12 reps. So even though that I am a sprinter, I was still doing at least 6 to 10 miles per session. And I was doing that 6 days a week, easily.
It must have made you so fit.
I was incredibly fit. Yeah, I mean, I could hold probably 20 miles an hour for that whole lap easily.
That's unreal. Unreal. So one thing that really interested me, really did interest me, was you. Tell me if I'm wrong about this, but am I right in thinking you're like a body language coach, or have been a body language
I have
coach?
been, yeah. So I'm actually certified in deception, and basically we.
Okay,
Yeah, so
that's well cool. What do you mean, certified deception?
so from a non-verbal context, everybody reads body language, and we all pick up signs and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But we went a bit deeper than that and actually went into the science of that and actually practiced a lot more. So we read facial expressions, pitch and tone, volume of the voice, context of what you're actually saying as well. So the words being used, that
Right.
hints towards any kind of deception, maybe. The actual body language and signs and hand movements, gestures, and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's well interesting. Is it as if they're like criminals or like just general?
It could be really anything, really. I mean, you think about like you're working closely with people and they're having an off day. You can see what's bugging them almost in a way. I think the actual certification was in investigative interviewing. I think it was. So it's about it is what the police do in a way when they're interviewing people.
To see like the criminal mind and all that kind of stuff is what I was thinking. I mean, I might be completely wrong
Not
there.
so much. No, it's more about. So we give off emotions. That's where it all comes from, and emotions are brought out in the body. So I could say like I do leg day every day, but part of my face or a gesture will give me away and show that I don't. And other obvious ways, but it's that kind of thing. We're looking at that.
Well, you know what I'm going to ask you. Read me. I want you to. As soon as I read it, I was like, I need this guy to know how weak or strong I am. I need. Read me. What am I? What's going through my mind?
So we don't read minds. I mean,
please.
It's literally. So a lot of. So what I did actually, it was I took it from a really athlete point of view when I was training for this and doing a bit of this, because I sat and manipulated my face for about 6 to 7 months, so I could actually kind of fake the expressions on cue.
What do you mean?
So I was doing because I thought if I'm going to teach it, I need to be able to do it. When you're a coach, you've got to be able to do something, haven't you? So you've got to be able to move your face in a certain way that you need it.
Please
so
put this in a scenario for me, Mickey. What do you mean, put it in my face?
Say I was going to teach you how to control your face for certain situations. Maybe sometimes it's going because it's not like people say about poker players when they keep a poker face. It's not
okay.
Really
there's
that.
Definitely synergy here, Mickey. Sorry to interrupt you, but there's definitely synergy here. Niall might be hearing what I'm saying here in the background. Now, trust me. In the ring, you need to play a poker face, especially when you get hurt. Okay, Niall, you'll be with me here. Now we've been if you've ever been caught with a body shot, but it's not nice. It is not. Yeah. I'd prefer a spade in the face compared to a body shot. Yeah, being serious. So, are you telling me you could teach me how to be a better poker face from a body shot?
In a way, yes, because it's kind of like like the face-offs actually with boxers. You can almost always tell who's going to win that fight, who is coming in more confidently, who's real confidence now, not just that facade. that real confidence that they are really going to win.
Okay.
You could read that. That's the kind of context that you could read it and use it for as well.
Apart from Conor McGregor Mayweather, maybe.
Possibly. I mean, even
Just
that,
because that guy's wild.
even if you look at Conor McGregor's body language in quite a few of the press conferences, they're a little bit different to how when he actually used to win. Yes, he's still wild,
Okay.
he's still crazy, but there's little hints now and again. It's very few and far between. He's very good at it. Don't get me wrong, he's very good at it. But there is little things that you can pick up on, and I'm not a body language. I don't work in that kind of area anymore, so I'm a bit rusty myself. But certainly, body language experts will definitely pick up on signs like that, especially for walk-ons like that.
That's really interesting. That's quite cool. I like that. So you said it a little bit earlier. You had an issue where you had septicemia.
Yeah.
Some of us may know of sepsis. From what I understand, I've read this when I did my research on you. So if it's wrong or of any of that nature, then please let me know. But apparently, it was a urinary tract infection.
Yep.
So problem with your bladder, basically. And the BBC apparently put it out there that this was chlamydia, and wrongly did this.
Yep.
So first of all, publicly told you've got chlamydia can't be exactly a very nice thing. So what was this like for you? Can you put that into context for me?
It's just one of those things again. I mean, it's when it was the GB team, like the guys, the Paralympic team are very different from, I think, from most teams, because we are all nutters. We're all stupid. And anything that comes out about anybody, everybody jumps on it, and it's a bit of banter. But we also know that a lot of the media does come out wrong as well, unfortunately. So it's just one of those, I had a lot of flack for it, but it's banter at the end of the day from that point of view. From a public point of view, I don't think, to be fair, I don't believe that Paralympic sport is as big as mainstream sports. I think it's fair to say that, or any other sports really. And I truly believe that, and I get why as well. So it's not like it was a story about Conor McGregor or Floyd. It was a lot smaller, and it was forgotten within a month maximum. You know what I mean?
But still, I mean, listen,
it's poor. You don't want it's that. Very poor showing. Yeah, of course, it's very poor showing.
That's the BBC all over, though. That's generally media all over. They're horrible. Like, don't get me wrong. Listen, I'd like to think that with my channel, and thanks everybody for watching. I really do appreciate it. Linda, thanks for your comment. I'm going to go back to the fans in a second. Make sure you keep all your comments coming in. I'd like to think that I'm a bit different than any other else, because I am the media. I'm involved in media, but I'm not a scumbag. Do you know what I mean? And they're just all scumbags. Like they look for like horrible little undertone stuff. Do you know what I mean? Just look for dirt, and that's not what it should be. And what I try to do, especially when it comes to boxing, is talk to people. I want to give people a platform so more people can get more fans. Do you know what I mean? And that's people use, especially social media and stuff like that. We've got a massive following on social media. There's like 250,000 followers, and the amount of people who use social media just for negative purposes is just mental. When you see something good, that gets more likes than anything scummy. Do you know what I mean? And Linda, don't worry, I know you're not a scumbag. Linda Platt just messaged you. I'm not a scumbag. So Linda Platt, bless her, she's actually a legendary lady. She was on the show a couple of weeks ago. She is actually the first ever female photographer for boxing. She was the photographer for Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali, and personal photographer Mike Tyson and stuff like that. So Linda, I know you're not a scumbag. You're a lovely duck. I wasn't talking about you. Don't worry. Lee McAllister again. One of my good friends, Neil Faki, is a Paralympic legend, and got to take your hat off as these lads and ladies knock their pan in to reach their goals. Just like any other sportsman, if not more, as they're more determined to prove everyone wrong. That's cool. I like that.
I know Neil quite well, actually. Yeah, I've done a couple of competitions with him.
Okay, when?
We went to Beijing, first Paralympics together.
Amazing. Oh, you did? All right, I'm with you. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Chris Harper, sorry I missed the start. I'll catch up on YouTube tomorrow. Hope everyone is well. Oh, absolutely well, mate. Nice to see you. Now, I want to get into what a massive feat of endurance, a crazy idea. Like, who would even think you climbed a mountain on your hands?
Yeah.
Which, just let that sink in. Everybody out there watching, thanks for watching. Climbing a mountain on your hands. Listen, I never do this, but I'm going to play that video again just to put it in context. People who just joined us, let's just look at what he did.
Come on, mate. Go on, Mickey. Come on, Mickey. Come on, Mickey. Go on, Mickey. Yes, fella.
That sink in a second. Do you reckon that anybody out there will be able to climb your stairs on your hands? No chance. Absolutely. And you climbed a mountain on you. That is absolutely insane, mate. Talk to me, right? You're a quarter of the way up, and it's the Wrekin, the mountain. And you climbed it on your hands. You're a quarter of the way up. Did you think, oh, crap, this is a bad idea?
No, not at any point that I thought it was a bad idea.
Okay.
And the only reason I didn't think that was because I knew why we were doing it. That was important. That was more important to me than any kind of pain that I was already in. You know, the lives that we can get, a bit like the life I just spoke about earlier. We're changing lives with what we do with the academy, so that made it worth it. And I'd keep doing it if that's what it took. So, did I hate my co-founder of the academy? Absolutely, for the idea. There was many a times where I wanted to hate him, but at the end of the day, it was worthy of what we were trying to achieve.
Good man, good man. Maybe I should have formed that from a different way, but it didn't look like you were doing bad against charity. I'll take it. I'll take it on the chin. Take it on the chin. So, I mean, the amount, how fit you'd have to be to do that. And then I saw another video of you when you were right on top of the cairn and you're doing a handstand. How the hell did you do a handstand on top of the cairn after climbing something like that? You must have been in absolute excruciating agony.
I think it was pure adrenaline. I think that's what it was. I just didn't feel anything in my body at that point. I think it was just switch off. We got to this point where it was, because that was actually the second, because I did a handstand press up twice. Because the first time we did it, they didn't record it. And I was gutted.
I'm dying.
Yeah, I'm dying. So, yeah, it was, I think adrenaline just took over at that point, and it was just like, we've done this now, and whatever happens now. It's done. It doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, I think it was just that.
Absolutely. Got loads and loads of love coming in here. Linda, again, said that you were inspiring. Chris Harper said, well done, Mickey. Amazing.
Thank you, guys. Absolutely
amazing. Absolutely. Now, I want to talk to you about something we spoke about off camera. I wish I wouldn't have now, but it was just funny. Right. Question out there to everybody watching. Have you ever, or as your mum or as your nan or anybody ever gone, you're going round the Wrekin now? Have you ever heard that saying, you're going round the Wrekin? Please tell me that you know this. Please comment. And I'm being serious. I need your support here, because it's either that or I'm going mental or my mum's mental, okay? But you didn't know this, Mickey, even though you climbed the Wrekin. And not only that, you're from near the Wrekin. And so I can't wait for the first comment come in. But basically, what going round the Wrekin means is you're taking it originates from people having to walk around this big mountain, which is the Wrekin, which you climbed. But my mum would say to me, come on, Dan, hurry up now. You're going around the Wrekin here, because I'm taking too long to explain something. So where it originates from is because everybody has to walk around this massive mountain, which you told me a little bit earlier on. The only thing you know is apparently it was some kind of god or something that was lying down, and then a bit of
sleeping giant was the folklore. Yeah, one of the folklores, I suppose. Yeah, when I was younger, it was always you going around the houses or something like that. That was always the expression that I heard.
Yeah, oh, I know that one.
Anyway.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you go around the houses, but go around the Wrekin. Please tell me, I know that this is delayed for about 60 seconds, so I'm asking a few times, but please tell me people know exactly what going around the Wrekin means, because Either that or I'm just a bit mad, which probably am anyway, to be honest. Now, here we go. Yes, get in. Here we go. Right, okay. Richard Vernon, my nan used to tell me this, especially when telling me off. See, I told you. This is, and it's mad that you're from there and you don't know people are talking about you. That's absolutely hilarious. That's funny. That's funny. Crazy. Now, whenever I spoke to followers, whenever I spoke to colleagues that I was speaking to you, all they ever said is, bloody hell, he must be strong. He must be so strong to do what you've done. I mean, I suppose it's going to sound like a daft question, really, but how strong really are you?
Depends how you want to quantify it, I suppose. It's a... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I'll put it into context. I'll put it into context. I was really, really heavy, so I can leg press anything, because I'm used to carrying 30, 40 stone. Like I'm ridiculously strong in my legs because I've had to overcompensate for all the weight I was before. So, I mean, I don't know if you would be in a position where you could bench something or something of that nature, but just to quantify it a little bit, because you must be much stronger than the average man, having to overcompensate with your hands and your shoulders all the time.
So when I do bench press, my one-off. For context, a little bit here, I was just chatting to this about bench press to my friend today. Actually, funny enough, I don't train that often in the gym. I do once a week, if that. But my max bench press is still 110 kilos, and that was a weight of 47 kilos as well.
You were 47 kilos.
I was 47 kilos, and I could bench 110. Jesus. I could do dips. We did a recent challenge in the gym. Well, I'm about 55 to 56 kilos now, but I did 64 dips non-stop at that weight, so I can still dip quite well. I can do press ups. I did 74 through COVID in 1 minute. So it's that kind of thing. If we want to put context onto it or quantify it in those ways,
it just must really make you like a Superman. Do you know what I mean? Because you're having to deal with that all the time. Yeah. Tell me finally about a little bit more about the group that you're working with, the academy that you're working with. Where can we, first of all, tell us about it, and then also where can we kind of find you? Where can we support you?
Well, first of all, we're on Facebook. We've got that. It's called the Mickey Bushell Gold Standard Academy, and basically, what I do is with these guys is I give them an opportunity to get out and do stuff with other people, other wheelchair users. So I'm trying to create a community of people where we do walks. I do a wheelchair spin class. So a part of the 8-week project, every week, once a week, we do a wheelchair spin class and have a coffee and chat to each other and chat about different experiences, different disabilities, whatnot, what we do in daily lives that might help us, that might help other people. So that's one aspect. And then every participant that does come onto the 8-week project, they have a one-to-one gym session with me as well, where I'll personally work with them towards any kind of goal that they want. Teach them how to lift, how to transfer out the chair. Also within the group sessions, we also do wheelchair skills. So we do like up and down curbs, ramps, grass, wheelies. That's a big part of what we do. And it's just giving freedom. And then it's kind of the larger picture after that. So they do the 8-week program, and it's not like, right, you've done your 8 weeks, see you later. It's, do you want to continue coaching with me? Do you want to be a part of our community? Do you want to still do walks with us? Do you want, we're trying to follow that on. And now with the branches of the sport that we're looking at, so I'll be personally coaching the wheelchair racing branch. And then we've got, we're looking at wheelchair rugby and a few other things at the moment. We're just expanding. So we're trying to kind of delve and say, do you have a preferred sport? Is it athletics? Do you want to give it a go? Do you want to give this a go? If we don't do that, facilitate that directly, I've got contacts in other sports and we send them that way. We're trying to do everything we can for that wheelchair user to get the best opportunities out of life, basically.
Amazing. Can I ask you, this is the last question I'm going to ask you. This comes from a personal place. And I do ask some pressing questions sometimes, but have there been times in your life, and I'm saying this because it's happened to me, there must have been times in your life where you've been either upset or depressed by your current situation. Have you ever had that?
Yeah, for sure. There's a real, when I had the sepsis, actually, that was a real low point for me in life. I think that was where I lost the most, because I was injured after 2012, but I could still compete. I still went to World Championships and I still won medals, even with a shoulder injury. But to have the sepsis where it took me out completely, where I couldn't move around, I couldn't walk on my hands, I couldn't pull myself up. It was debilitating. I felt like I was useless. And that for me was a true low point, I think, mentally at least. Yeah.
And with your academy, from learning from that, and no doubt other times in your life where you felt that maybe, I might be wrong here, I might be just assuming things, but maybe you felt inadequate, maybe you felt too different, maybe when you were really young. How do you kind of use that positivity, and how do you kind of push that towards people that you're working with?
I listen to them. I listen to their story. I listen to them, listen to their struggles, and try and show them that there's another life, for one. I try and, motivate them to want to do something, to have a goal. I think because in life, I think if you don't have a goal, it's kind of like, when you get in your car, you have a destination, you have somewhere you're going to go. And goals are the same thing. So if you don't know where you're heading to, you're kind of lost. So that's what I want to bring to these people. I try and find them and realign them where they want to go. And I think from a motivational point of view, I know motivation is a bit crap because you want discipline over motivation. But trying to have that goal, that gives you the discipline because you have something to fight for. And that's what I try and give these people, is something to live for as well.
Yeah.
And I'm learning a lot from them as well.
Absolutely. Going to the fans to show you a bit of love. Chris Harper said, "Can leg press anything? Can't last around with Becky." Right, you don't know about this, but I did some sparring with a female professional the other day, yeah, I did last around. Just saying. Next one, Liam McAllister, 64 dips. What the? I'll say. Yeah, F at K. I struggle with 10. That just puts it in context how strong you are. Carl Creed to boxing gloves. Here we go. Lee says, I went to the local wheelchair basketball team with Tony Stott, and the kids absolutely destroyed me in a race along the hall and chairs. I was last. Amazing. I just want to say from my end, really, a huge thank you for coming on the show. You are one of the most inspirational men I've ever met. Credit to you. Absolutely deserve the MBE. And even if you didn't with your sporting, just to help people who were no doubt struggling emotionally, physically, mentally. Good on you, mate. Thank you very, very much for coming on the show, mate. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Thanks for having me, mate.
I'll see you soon, Mucker.
See you later.
Ciao, bro. Climbing a mountain on your hands. I can't climb the stairs half the time. I mean, that's absolutely insane. I'm going to be bringing on my next guest now. And I know that there wasn't particularly just boxing. I know we used to just talking about boxing, but now we absolutely are going to talk about boxing. I had the honour of being the media for the British Boxing Board of Control Midlands Area Awards evening only a couple of weeks ago. And Nyall Berry, who's a young featherweight, I believe, who's unbeaten. He's 8-0. And he's a very, very special kid. Very, very special kid. And I just didn't get the chance. I didn't have the time. There's just so many people there to speak with him. I really wanted to, because I love helping and supporting boxing. And of course, helping and supporting boxing at the start of people's career. Nyall Berry is now 8-0, I believe, with 4 knockouts. And he's a very, very exciting prospect. Let's welcome him to the show.
You're right.
Mr. Berry. How are you getting on?
Dan. Yeah, not too bad yourself.
Bless you. I'm good, mate. Not too bad at all. Thanks for joining me on the show, and thank you for being so
No problem.
patient there in the
No
background. I
problem.
mean, you must have took a little bit from that. I mean, mate, climbing a mountain on your hands.
Yeah, I agree with you. I couldn't climb I struggled to go up my stairs.
Well, like, that's what I'm saying. I mean, do you imagine now, right? Me and you. Let's do it in a bit and record each other, and I'll send you a video. Right, see how far we go. Right, we'll go on the stairs and then try and pick your hands up, not using your legs
Yeah,
to get up one flight of stairs. Absolutely insane.
yeah, I know.
Crazy. Now, Nyall, great to meet you properly. It's
Yeah,
fantastic. You're a localish lad to me, so I should have really known you a lot sooner. But still, you had the honour of winning Prospect of the Year from the British Boxing
yeah,
Board of Control Midlands area, which is an incredible achievement. Now,
yeah.
let's start from the very, very beginning, because I want people to know you. I want people to know about you and your story. So, what got you into boxing, mate?
Well, the first thing that I ever did was kickboxing when I was 12. I just wanted to, I don't really know, I just wanted to do some sort of contact sport. And then after that, I've done a bit of taekwondo, I've done a bit of MMA, and then eventually I started boxing when I was 16. I've just always wanted to do a contact sport, really. That's what got me into it, really.
Okay, I can associate with that. I can't really do anything with my hands. Ask my wife. But
Yeah,
I can. The only things I can do with my hands, mate, is fight. I can play a bit of table tennis, but that's about it. So all my life, it doesn't matter what I've done. It's always been, even if it's not been a sport that I should hurt people in, I hurt people in. So I'm with you there. I completely associate with you. Is it? I don't. It's not always just that you want to hurt people or get hurt. It's generally you like that one-on-one competitive
yeah,
nature, because there isn't a more competitive sport, in my opinion, than
yeah,
boxing.
yeah.
Cycling, I think, is definitely up there. But why do you enjoy fighting so much?
Again, I think it's the adrenaline. I can't explain to you how much I love fighting. Like when I get in there and we're just staring down and then the bell goes and we go to fight. I can't I I can't really say what it is that what makes me love it so much. I just when you like sometimes even when I get hit, I just smile because I'm just enjoying it. And then when you feel the connection in your fist to when it hits someone in the belly or their face, it's just a different feeling for me. Anyway, I don't know about anyone else, but that's just how it is for me.
Bit scared, but yeah, bit
Yeah.
scared. Bless you. Right. So, talk to me. So, you're growing up. You're doing your kickboxing, doing taekwondo. You're clearly an handy lad. Tell us a little bit like what you were like when you were a kid.
Uh, I just kept myself to myself. I was quiet. I wasn't. I was just quiet and I just kept myself to myself. I wasn't a troublemaker. I wouldn't go looking for trouble, but I also knew how to handle myself. If trouble come to me, then
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna stand there But I just mind my own business. I wasn't one of them lads who were like, oh, I was always starting fights. That's how I got into boxing and this, that, and the other. To be honest with you, I was just a quiet lad. I didn't really fight outside of like when I was doing kickboxing and stuff like that. I enjoy fighting like in the ring, but I wasn't really a kid that went around causing trouble, looking for fights. Because I know that's how most people.
Do you know what? No, they don't now, mate. Listen, I'm going to love you for your entire career, but I'd like to think I'm very experienced in speaking to boxers. I've interviewed thousands, legends, prospects. No. I reckon of all the, let's say 3,000 fighters I've interviewed in the time of doing boxing media, I would probably say maybe 3 or 4. I'm not even joking. 3 or 4, yeah, swear to God. And back it up. It's all there. It's all videoed. I've spoke with, just give you an idea of the people who've been on the show, and it's a pleasure to have you on the show. We've had Tyson Fury on the show, Roy Jones Jr., James Toney, Shannon Briggs, who was on recently, Larry Holmes. These are all people who've
Yeah.
been on the same show that you're on now. And it's really, really rare that people say, you know, I was a bit of an idiot and that's why I started boxing. Don't really happen, honestly. And I think that's the popular misconception too, because people think boxers are idiots. And do you know what? You could not be any more wrong. And this is the reason why I say get your kids into boxing. Boxing should be in schools. And
Oh yeah,
I'll keep
definitely.
your comments coming in here now, because I want to see what you think. Boxing should be in schools, because I'm telling you one thing: if you teach your kid to box, he won't be a bully. Fact.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts now?
No, I agree. I mean, if I ever have, I mean, I don't know how I feel about kids yet, but if I ever do have a child, I'm definitely getting them into boxing as soon as possible. I think boxing it teaches discipline. It's to be honest with you, I feel like boxing saved my life. To be honest with you, I just feel like I have purpose. I don't know. Boxing. It's just different. It's different. I recommend especially people with mental health problems or anything like that. I really recommend them get into boxing, or just if not boxing, just a combat sport, just something. But boxing is different. Boxing saves so many lives. It's just different. It teaches you so many lessons as well.
You couldn't be speaking to a better person right now. I'm being deadly serious. Boxing, yeah, it does take lives now and again. It does. You know, it's a contact sport. So does American football, whatever. But it does. But I'm telling you one thing, and I've said this many, many times: boxing saved a lot more lives than it's taken.
Yeah, definitely.
100%. Some love coming in here. Let's have a quick look here. Let's have a look. Hi, Nyall. I don't know why I said that so aggressive, by the way. Nyall. That was about. Hi, Nyall. Which fight have you learned the most from about yourself? All the very best in your career. That's a great question.
I'd say, do you know what? I'd say the fight when I got a KO in 13 seconds, my fourth fight. I'd say that fight I learned because I do believe in myself, and I do think that I can go all the way as long as I continue doing what I'm doing. But sometimes you do have doubts. Sometimes
Yeah.
you get. I'm my biggest critic. I am my biggest critic. My fourth fight, I jumped up in class, fought someone who's fought for the Central Area title twice, and I KO'd him in 13 seconds. And that fight, it just told me, like, no, just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing, and look what you're doing. You're blowing people out of the water. Just carry on doing what you're doing. It's just taught me that I'm so much better than I think. Like, I just don't. I feel like I don't give myself enough credit sometimes. I'm my worst critic, but that fight showed me I need to just keep doing what I'm doing. That fight taught me a lot.
Was that Sufyan Ahmed?
Yeah.
Okay. I make out like I've got the best boxing brain in the world, but you best believe I was on Google there.
Yeah.
I was just thinking, who's fought for a Central Area title twice? That's interesting. Going back on what we were saying about boxing, though, Nyall, and what it can teach a child or teach anybody, really. Chris Harper, 100% boxing should be in school. I think it should. I really do. Linda Platt out in America said it teaches self-control. It definitely does. Builds the body, sportsmanship. Yeah, absolutely. Adam Foley said, have belief, but heart wins. Wars, not ego. And then Leslie said, like and understand the answer now. Yeah, I mean, for people out there who think that the boxing is just brutal, and I mean, yeah, it is. Yeah, listen, it's a contact sport. You know, we're there, knock each other out. But the truth of it is it builds respect. It builds teamwork. It builds self-determination, understanding of your own body. I mean, what more do you need? What more do you need? You know, and that then, and I think you'd agree with this now, that then makes you a different person your entire life.
Yeah.
I was 32 stone climbing a mountain. I couldn't have done that without boxing. No chance. I'd have once have it up here. And would I have done it without? No chance. Absolutely no chance. In fact, I want to, she said, Christian Fahy, face-to-face connection. Love it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That face-to-face connection.
I don't know if do you know who Christian is?
No, I don't.
Christian's an unbeaten female fighter up in Scotland and Aberdeen.
Okay.
Really exciting. She's 4-0, I believe, with 3 knockouts.
I'll have a look.
Very good fighter. Very excited about her. So Christian, Laura love. Laura. She said, better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. Joe, I didn't expect anything else from you, Christian. Not many people match me for boxing brains, kid. But you are definitely one of them. I'm telling you that. Right. So for people who out there who haven't seen you, because there's people all over the world, America and everything watching. So tell us a little bit about you and your style.
I'd like to say Mexican. That's the bit. I've got I've got that Mexican style. I've got that come forward, educated pressure. I'm not just coming in throwing loads of shots. Good educated pressure and just relentless. That's the nickname's non-stop. So that's what I mean. It's non-stop for true. Just that come forward, quality and quantity of punches. Nice head movement. That type of fighter. That's what I'd like to say Mike Tyson, but
I was just about to say that.
I want to say Mike Tyson, but I feel like I'm more like I feel like Mike Tyson's probably a bit more explosive than what I am. I feel like I throw more jabs than him. I'd say the best way to explain me is like that proper Mexican come forward style.
Yeah.
I
like it. So you. Fantastic. Congratulations to win a Prospect of the Year from the British Boxing Board of Control in the Midlands. It's an honour being there. And again, apologies, I didn't manage to get around to be with you. That's the reason why I invited you. That's the first person I invited on the show from there. So what an incredible achievement. So you're 8-0, 4 knockouts. What does it mean to you to win that at this and to be recognised, actually have a bit of recognition at this point of your career?
Yeah. Do you know what, mate? Since I've turned pro, like even that, it doesn't feel real. Like when I won the award, I don't think it's really sunk in yet. It just doesn't feel real. Like when I'm having this interview now, just like when people are shouting me out, just saying, "Oh, this guy's gonna make it," blah blah blah. It just doesn't feel real. Like when I won the award, it still hasn't really sank in. If you get what I mean.
I don't think it will either. In fact, I know it won't.
Yeah.
Not until after.
Yeah.
And then you look back and think, bloody hell, I did that.
Yeah.
And trust me, I'm talking from experience there. Not necessarily with boxing. Well, yeah, actually, yes, sometimes with boxing. But yeah, you don't. It's weird that. It's weird, isn't it? You feel like you're in like some dream world.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I've said to people. It doesn't feel real.
I like it. Now, obviously, exciting career. What's next for you?
Looking at the English super bantamweight title, I believe Zahid Hussein defended it last night against Andre Grant. So we're looking at that next. If we can't get that next, then just another 6-8 pounder, and then I definitely want it after that. But I want that next.
Yeah, of course. I mean, 8-0, that'd be your 9th fight. I think that's, especially for the weight you're in, makes sense to me.
I mean, I wanted to fight for the Midlands title so long ago, but there's no one really. There's that Lewis Morris, and he was just talking rubbish. And so I just moving on to English now. Like I've been doing featherweight, but I've always said I could make super bantam. So, but I don't want to kill myself just for these type of levels. So once I get to English British level, then I'll start dropping out to super bantam. So if we can get the English title fight next, then super bantam.
So super bantam at championship level, you'd like to be at, do you reckon?
Yeah. And I can make that.
I mean, I'd like to think I know a bit about boxing. Super bantam's very competitive in the domestic scene. I'm trying to think who's that. Liam Davis. Is it Liam Davis in bantam? I'm pretty sure he is.
You know, I
Dennis
speak
McCann.
I speak to Liam Davis. I've sparred him a few times. I speak to him now and then. He's cool. He's a really, that's my best. He's taught, them sparring sessions taught me a lot. I give him credit. I think he'll go on to win a world title, to be honest with you.
Yeah, rating that highly.
Yeah, no, Liam Davis is good. He's
Lovely
good.
lad.
I learned. I can't thank him enough. I learned a lot from, we sparred a couple of times.
Very interesting style, hasn't he? Very, very interesting style. I like. I mean, I've got a lot of love for him and a lot of love for his family. So that's really cool to hear. But still, I mean, what would you say would be the? I mean, I'm right thinking featherweight. Lee Wood's there, isn't he? Lee Wood's there.
Wood, Josh Warrington.
Yeah. I mean, they're both competitive, aren't they? In both weights. I'm just thinking, going down to super bantam. I mean, I suppose it depends. What's the best you, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah, it depends what fights are there as well. Like, it depends what path. Like, that's what I mean. Like the English super bantamweight title. Like, I think we can get that next. So I can make super bantam. So I may as well take that fight because it's there for me. So it depends what's there. It maybe something popped up at feather, but if I can make super bantam, which is day before weighing, then I may as well because I can make 100%. That.
If that's best for you, though. If you're strong at that and you feel you can rehydrate properly, because sometimes people get that wrong. But if you can make it, then
exactly. If I'm not gonna absolutely kill myself. People don't realize that the drain them. If I drained myself as much as other people do, I could probably make bantam. If I'm honest with you,
flyweight.
The amount that people kill themselves is crazy.
Yeah, it
is. You want to get down to a weight that you can still rehydrate and you still feel strong. What's the point in killing yourself and then you got nothing left?
Well, it's counterproductive, isn't it? Because if it takes a long time to rehydrate properly, especially the day before. That's the reason why they have the likes of, I'm saying this, a certain Floyd, I'm not going to say who, having IV drips and stuff like that. It's the reason why they're banned is so they can rehydrate. So yeah, good for you. But like I say, they're both competitive divisions, so it's whatever you feel best at, really, whether it be featherweight or not. Now, I want to get to know you a bit because I don't know you, and it's rare I don't know people in our sport, if I'm being honest. So I'm going to ask you a question. In fact, first of all, before I do, let's go to the fans here. Leslie Webb said, knock 7 bells out of each other in a safe environment and then respect each other afterwards for doing something. No other sport like it.
Yeah.
100%. He's ruthless, Dan. He doesn't stop coming forward. He's the best in the stable. Okay.
Respect.
Oh, respect. Eastside Boxing Club, 9 Whitworth Industrial Estate, Tilton. Bloody hell. Why don't you put a postcode on there, mate? PO Box. John Pegg deserve credit. So you were John, are you? I didn't know you were John.
John Pegg, he's my manager and trainer.
I absolutely love that guy. Oh my God, why has he not messaged me? So I didn't know you were John.
Yeah.
Love that guy. Love him.
Done a lot, man.
Lovely man. Linda Platt, very humble. Absolutely humble.
Yeah, that's one thing that I always stand by. Humble. I could be undisputed champion of the world. The first thing that's gonna come to my head is humble. I don't ever want to come across unhumble. I really don't. Yeah. It's always on my mind 24/7.
Love that, mate. Love that. Everybody watching, make sure you like. I see all your likes coming in. Please share and make sure you subscribe, depending on what channel you're on. Leslie Webb said, fighting to believe that one belongs here is what keeps one's feet on the floor and a springboard to being the best one can. Keep the great work up, Nyall. Cheers, Leslie. That's good. Shabazz Massoud. Okay, he's talking about it's another great fight. One. Shabazz was on the show last week. A lot of love for Shabazz. Shabazz was in my gym when I was an amateur, believe it or not. Craziness. Craziness. So, question for you. And guys, I want your comments coming in with this. I want your answers. But I'm asking Nyall the question, but I want your answers to this. Now, if you could sit on a bench overlooking a lovely lake and you could sit there for half an hour with any boxing person or personality ever, gone or still with us, Who would it be, and what would you talk about?
I mean, there's just so many names I could pick from.
You can
Like,
only pick one.
I mean, my favorite boxer of all time is probably Aaron Pryor. So, yeah,
Okay, I get the relentless pressure situation. Okay, yeah, so carry on.
yeah. So I feel like I'd want to speak to him, but then there's either him or Floyd Mayweather, just because for me, Floyd Mayweather is the GOAT of boxing for me personally. So it would be out of them two. I feel like I'm gonna have to go with Floyd because he is boxing. He is boxing. So I think I'd go with Floyd and just asking him, talking about boxing. Really, that's all I care about anyway. So
But you'd have to take something from it, wouldn't you? Especially with someone
yeah,
like you don't just sit there with Floyd Mayweather and saying, "What did you have for breakfast?" You need to learn
no,
something from someone like that. What would you talk to him about?
just go over fundamentals, I guess. Tips, anything to improve my game.
Okay, interesting. If you could be like Professor Frankenstein, I think is it Professor Frankenstein, Doctor Frankenstein, I think it is, and you could put yourself on a table, and you can say, "Do you know what? I can add an attribute to me straight off the cuff. I can add the right hand of Julian Jackson. I can add the chin of, I don't know, Triple G. I can add the right hand of Deontay Wilder, the left hook of Tommy Morrison. You could pick anything. I could be here all day, by the way. What would you pick?
I'd say, who's give me a boxer who's got really good footwork. I'm trying to think.
Pernell Whitaker, Lomachenko.
Ooh, Lomachenko. I'd say Lomachenko's footwork. I'd say that's probably the main thing I need to work on. Footwork.
Okay.
I'd say Lomachenko's feet.
Lomachenko's feet.
Yeah.
Let's go deeper. Let's go deeper with this. And guys, keep your comments coming in. Let's go right. Yeah, let's do it. It's fun. Why not now? We're having a laugh. We spoke to somebody who's not a boxer, and now we're talking boxing. Let's talk boxing. Right. So I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this. So if you're going to pick a boxing brain, you'd be picking Floyd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Likewise. Chin.
Golovkin.
Cool. I like that. You kind of nipped mine, but yeah. I'm gonna go with Arturo Gatti. I just like the way he took a shot. Horrible. It's like, boom, come on, let's have it again. I just loved it. I mean, it might not be the most solid chin in the world, but he could get up off anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Right hand.
Julian Jackson was a good one. He just said, but
You're nicking all my. I'm not having this now. You're nicking all my answers.
I don't want to pick it. I don't want to pick him because. So I'm gonna say Deontay Wilder.
I like it. I like it a lot. I can't pick the same as you, so I'm going to go with Vladimir Klitschko. I don't think there's many straight right hands like Vladimir Klitschko, to be honest.
Yeah.
Jab. I've only got one.
Lloyd again.
Floyd? Larry Holmes for me. Larry.
Ooh,
all day.
That's
all
true.
day, every day. Larry Holmes was on the show about a year ago. Probably not even that. And
that's a good one. That is.
Best jab ever, mate. I spoke to him about this, and this might be, you never know, it might be an education to you that you might take into British boxing, and you never know. You just never. And I spoke to Larry, and I says to him, like, how did you do it? That bang, bang. And he said, I never did bang, bang, bang. He said, what I did, I used to slap him. I used to slap, 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 slap. And I was like, well, yeah, but you're 6'3", 6'4", or whatever you are. So that's not really a slap. Do you know what I mean? That's a bloody hard hit. He said, no, I used to flick it out. I used to slap him. And then I'd wait for their eyes to droop. And then I'd close my fist. And that's when I cut them and stop them. Mad as that?
Yeah, that is quite mad.
And that was
I've met him, to be fair. I have met him at a think John done a evening of with Larry Holmes and is it Jerry?
Yeah, Jerry Cooney. Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I went to that. I did speak to him, and you know what? He did say something about it. He basically just slapped the jab out. I do remember him saying something like that.
Madness. Yeah, he used to slap it.
Yeah.
Slap you. Well, it's not really a slap, is it? Like I say, but still.
Yeah.
Left hook.
What's his name? Man said, "What's his name?" That's terrible. I said, "What's his name?" Fraser.
Joe Frazier.
Yeah.
I can't knock that. Yeah, fantastic left hook.
Yeah.
Fantastic left hook. Do you know the story? I'm going to go deep intro all these things. Do you know the story behind Joe Frazier's left hook?
Wasn't it that he worked as a? He weren't chopping trees. He worked as he done. Or did he injured his arm when he was young or something?
Yeah, he fell on. I think it's
Yeah,
a
he
log
broke
or
his
something.
arm.
Yeah, and so he couldn't like as me and you throw a jab. It was like that. So he couldn't. So basically, that's the reason why he always threw the left hook because he couldn't straighten his arm properly. How mad is that?
Oh no, yeah. You didn't think that he'd be able to throw a left hook if you broke your arm, but you know.
I suppose it makes you better. Look at Mickey climbed a mountain with his bloody hands. Ridiculous. What are we going with next? We've got left hook, right hand, jab. What are we going with next? Body shot. Best body puncher. You can pick your Frankenstein. Who are you going to pick?
Mike McCallum.
Okay. Why? It's interesting.
Because I've seen him with Have you seen his fight with Julian Jackson?
Yeah.
And his body work in that was just, I thought it was phenomenal. He's the original body snatcher, I'm saying. So I'd have to say Mike McCallum. Well, I'm trying to think body. I have to go with Mike McCallum.
Do you know what? I'm going to go with someone. The reason why I started even involved in boxing, Ricky Hatton. I think Ricky Hatton was a fantastic body puncher. The way he turned his body and moved around his opponent to smack that uppercut or even that left hook to the pit of the stomach.
Yeah, his left liver shot.
Unreal. Unreal. Yeah. I mean, was he the best ever? Maybe not. I mean, Tyson was a fantastic body puncher.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else was a great. Gerald McClellan was a very, very good body puncher. Who else was a good body puncher? Would I pick one? Golovkin.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of some more, but it's lost me.
Castillo was a good body puncher. Castillo. Really good body puncher. Did with the same one. Chavez, Linda, that's a fantastic shout.
Yeah,
Linda Platt said Julio Cesar Chavez. Oh, absolutely. One of the best body punchers of all time. Absolutely. Now, let's talk about the current state of boxing. Okay, so we've got Daniel Dubois against Usyk. What's your thoughts?
I think Dubois could win that, you know. I think he could. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, Usyk's gonna wipe the floor with him," but mate, if Dubois lands one shot on Usyk, he could literally end that fight. And I think Dubois will do what Anthony Joshua can't do. Dubois will actually manhandle him with his size. For some reason, Anthony Joshua wouldn't do that. I don't know why. Would you not use that? Usyk is not a heavyweight. He ain't even a heavyweight. If Joshua just used his height and his body weight, he could beat Usyk. Yeah, I don't understand what he was doing. But Dubois. Who do I think wins the fight? I think Usyk will probably win, but I think it's a lot closer than people think, because mate, if Dubois uses his size and he lands on Usyk's chin, then I think he can knock him out. So I don't know, but if I had to pick who's gonna win, I think Usyk will win by points. Though I think points.
So how, as someone who, of course, from a let's say experienced background, how important do you feel him being a southpaw will be in that fight?
That's what I mean. The thing with Dubois as well is quite stiff. So Usyk's gonna, one is southpaw, two is footwork. He's gonna be moving all around. So I think that will throw off Dubois a bit, but Usyk's a southpaw, so that's straight right as well. That can play into it. So again, it just depends as well. It depends on how he turns up on the night. But him being a southpaw, that's going to make it a lot more tricky for Dubois, as I say, because he's stiff. But it will also make the straight hand, right hand, be more dangerous. So, yeah,
absolutely. Depending if he's been taught the right way to put his feet in the right way. Which, you know what I mean. I mean, it's okay to on the right hand.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
without putting your feet in the right place. So, and then, but that's pretty bloody hard when you've got someone like Usyk who knows exactly where to stand on your foot or place your foot. So, yeah. A second one is Anthony Joshua against Dillian White.
I don't know who wins that.
It's a bit of a polar one, really, because there's some people out there who are saying, yeah, good. I'm glad they're getting in. I think it's pretty competitive. And I've got other people going, oh, God, I ain't paying 27 quid.
Yeah,
I'm paying 27 quid for that.
I'm on that side, to be honest. I don't really care about it, if I'm honest with you. I'm not paying 20. I ain't paying £27 to see that. I don't know. I just kind of don't care because like both their last performances were there. I didn't watch Dillian's. And I just watched highlights of Anthony Joshua's because I just don't care. I just think they're both. I'm not gonna say past it. I don't think they're past it. I just think like AJ hasn't even been the same since the Ruiz fight. He looks scared, and Dillian's got that dog in him. Like he'll come to fight. So I'm not gonna say they're past it. It's just like. I just don't really care. That's the best way I can put it.
Question 2 then. So you said Anthony Joshua looks scared, which I completely agree with, by the way, just to back you up here. Concerns me. It concerns me because he won't engage.
No.
And Anthony Joshua is not a boxer. He's not a natural boxer. He's somewhat. No. Anthony Joshua, and I've said this many, many times. Anthony Joshua was most exciting, and the reason why he changed British boxing is because he was a wrecking ball. He was a second coming of Tyson. He was a beast. He was a beast who went up there and he put you on your backside. What he wasn't was someone who just pitter-pattered and did what he did against Jermaine Franklin. What he wasn't is someone who did this. When the crazy things people were saying about Andy Ruiz in the rematch. When Anthony Joshua won, they're saying he's the next coming of Ali. No, he's not. He hasn't. He never will be, and never has been. And I don't. And listen, and it's hard though because at the same time he's also our countryman. So I don't want to disrespect the guy, but I just want that Joshua back.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I'm like, when it comes to like disrespecting your countryman, I'm like, if I'm talking about him, I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. I'm more just talking like my opinion on him as a boxer. Like, yeah, I'll support him because he's my fellow countryman, but I'm just giving my opinion on him as a boxer. And ever since that Ruiz fight, it doesn't look like the same boxer. It don't look like the same boxer at all.
No.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't know who's going to win, to be honest with you, because I know for a fact White's going to come to actually fight. But who's the better actual fighter? I'd say Anthony Joshua, but he's not the same fighter he was. So I don't have a clue.
It's just daft. Nyall, I think it's daft. I think I'm going to put it out there. I think it's daft. listen, we're talking about, I mean, there's been a conflicting figures put out there. I think the original one was 34 or 36, maybe 38 million. And now it's supposed to be 60 million. So this guy's sitting on potentially 60 million to fight Deontay Wilder in December, January time. Instead, we're talking about fighting a guy that he's already knocked out clean. Who, yeah, they've got a bit of history. They've got a bit of history with, because obviously, you know, Dylan White beat him in the amateurs when he was a novice. But this is way, in my opinion, way too much of a risk. I would never ever put my, I mean, balls. He's got balls, Annie. You know, he has got balls, because you wouldn't put 60 million on the line, would you? If you.
No, but the problem is, it's because he's not ready to fight Deontay Wilder. He needs another fight first. That's why. Dillian White, is a bit too much of a dangerous one, but he needs another fight. But to be honest with you, I think whether he has another fight or not, I think Wilder's going to spark him in 3 rounds. If I'm honest, and again, that's not me dissing him. That's just me being honest. I can't see Anthony Joshua beating Deontay Wilder.
No,
I just can't see that happening. But
no.
it is a very dangerous fight. But I kind of understand why, because he can't go fight Wilder just off the back of that Jermaine Franklin fight. He can't do that. Otherwise, it's going to be 1 round, not 3, in my opinion.
No, I completely agree with you. Nyall, last question I've got for you before I let you go. I know it's going dark where you are. So, same here. Look, I've got this big bloody light in my way. So, a big fight coming up between Spence and Terence Crawford. Errol Spence and Terence Crawford, which is, for me, you know, making what really should be happening in the sport right now. People are actually, you know, thinking, you know, this is a serious fight. And they're both, in my opinion, generational fighters. So, first of all, who do you think wins the fight?
Terence. And that's a hard, like, I don't know who to pick, but if I really have to pick someone, I'll say Terence Crawford.
I agree. I think he's just got more in the locker. Like I said last week, A, B, C, D, all the way to Z as far as game plan. He can change things on a turn of a coin.
I really like Errol Spence though as well. Like, I feel like my style is kind of like his, except for he's a southpaw. But I really like if I had to pick who I prefer to watch, I think I'd have to pick Errol Spence. But but Crawford he's on Floyd's level, I'd say.
Yeah. Like, he's a generational fighter. Yeah, I agree. Do people keep saying that, like, he's a smaller guy? That doesn't really matter. Floyd was a smaller guy versus Canelo.
Yeah.
You know. Listen, Nyall, I've just got to say thank you for joining me on the show. It's been a pleasure to me. Yeah. The good thing about myself and the rest of the 250,000 followers here at Boxing TV and around the world is that we will absolutely 100% follow you like a bad smell. Just saying.
That's what we want, though. That's what we want.
That's what boxing's about. You've got to put bums on seats. You've got to make sure that people are talking about you, and we absolutely will be talking about you. We've got some lovely stuff coming in from me saying nosy stuff does Nyall. Loads of people saying lovely stuff. So thank you everybody for commenting. Thank you everybody for sharing. Thank you everybody for liking the content. I really appreciate it. Nyall, me and you, especially considering you to do with John and Sam, and I can't believe that. That's wild because I love them guys so much. Thank you for coming on the show, mate. I really appreciate it, and I wish you so much luck in your career. And just to be clear, win, lose or draw, I'm going to be there for you. Me and Sam Eggington were there on the British Boxing World Control Awards the other day, and me and Sam were talking about me being in his inbox when he lost. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And I wish you all the best, mate. And you take good care of yourself. Thanks for coming on the show.
Respect, Dan. Respect.
Likewise, my man. See you soon.
In a bit.
My guy. I really liked him. He's a really nice guy, wasn't he? Really liked him. Right, so If you've only just joined us, we've had the Paralympic gold medalist, Mickey Bushell Mbe, who joined us a little bit earlier on the show. Also, we had a great guy with Nyall Berry, who won Prospect of the Year for the British Boxing Board of Control. So thank you for watching. Now, next week, hold the phone. This is going to be one of the best shows we've done in recent times. Amir Khan is coming on the show all the way from Dubai. I spoke to him a couple of days ago on the phone for a long time, bless him. Great guy. Amir Khan's coming on next week. Also, Dennis McCann, Dennis the Menace McCann, in my opinion, the best prospects coming from the UK. A local guy, actually, Simi Doherty, a guy who was in the amateurs with me. A bare knuckle guy is going to be coming on to talk to us, and also another fantastic guy who's going to be joining us. So make sure you join us. Make sure you come every Sunday. Make sure that you say hi and like and subscribe and be a legend and legends. Anyway, it's now 10 to 10. Really enjoyed seeing you. Thanks for watching. I can't tell you how much it means that people tune in just to watch Let Alone Me every single week, and also these most incredible guests. Take care. Have a great week. Stick into your boxing. Legends.